ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you. Now, I'm going to put this out there. Again, Ava, you wanted this. Chat, you wanted this. You were asking about the flat earth. You were like, we need to know. So I reached out to my friend Billy Ray Valentine. I said, Billy Ray Valentine, do you know anyone in the cosmos, anyone on this earth, maybe flat, to help us answer the questions we've been asking, ladies and gentlemen? If you don't know who this is, Google his name, David Weiss, or maybe Flat Earth Dave. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have heard him on the Flat Earth Dave, or the Flat Earth podcast, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in our guest, Mr. David Weiss. David Weiss, welcome to the A Show.
Hey, whatever you do, don't Google my name, because Google just feeds you garbage, just garbage. You won't find any of the real stuff, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah, no kidding. I got to tell you, before April, you jumped on. I said, let me just do a little research.
Got nothing.
I went to Google. I had to go through DuckDuckGo to find out some stuff, and then I just said, screw it. I'll just ask Billy Ray Valentine. He's the one that told me about him. So I got some information. This is all I got. Not much. So April, hi.
That's Dave. So
I'm saying
no,
you.
Dave.
Hi.
Thank you for thank you for taking the time to come on here. So we appreciate it.
No problem.
We're going into this with an open mind. I would love to hear your story. I'd love to hear you convince us to. Well, I'd love to hear more about who you are.
I'll give you the whole deal, but when I heard about flat Earth, I went into it with a closed mind. I went into it to disprove it and prove the globe, because anyone that thinks the Earth is flat is retarded, and that was my attitude. That's not really a good truth-seeking attitude. Would you agree? We're here for the truth. Let me hear it, rather than go in with a foregone conclusion. Of course, the Earth is a globe, and flat Earth is the dumbest thing ever. But it's only those of us that actually stop and actually take a look. So
we said earlier, none of us have actually been to space, so we wouldn't actually know.
We don't know.
And the people that argue for flat Earth, except the paid possessed trolls, they don't know their own model, right? When someone comes to me and says, "Oh, you really think the Earth is flat?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I go, before you say anything, you believe in the globe, right? And they're like, of course. And I'm like, what's the diameter? What's the radius? How fast is it spinning at the equator? How far is it from the sun? How did they figure out how far the sun is? What's its orbital speed? Mm-hmm. And they can't answer any of that. I go, wait a minute. I've been studying this for 10 years, your model and my model. You don't even know your own model, and you want to question me? And that kind of stops them in their footsteps. You
had a bit of an epiphany one day. This is what kind of like launched you on your journey. Again, you were trying to disprove the flat Earth quote unquote theory, but then there was an epiphany. What was that point in your life? The epiphany, the one moment that you said, "Wait a second, I'm gonna curse here. Shit ain't adding up."
Well, when I finally agreed to look, people started sending me stuff. I was doing a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, looking into all the the true conspiracies. I was a conspiracy researcher, and they threw flat Earth at me. I'm like, oh, stupid. And then finally, Sophia Smallstorm, a friend of mine, she did 9/11 Mysteries, Unraveling Sandy Hook, and a bunch of other stuff. And she's like, Dave, I think the Earth might be flat. And I was just like, are you freaking kidding me? And she goes, here, watch these videos. Sent me Mark Sargent's Clues, some other videos. And here's the thing. I'm not just going to believe a video, but a video is actually quite useful because they've done the work for you. Now you can go verify everything yourself. There's a lot of crap. I love when the Globers say, well, where do you get your information? YouTube? YouTube is like life. There's awesome stuff. There's crappy stuff. There's nonsense. There's facts. There's everything. There's assholes. There's good people. Mm-hmm. You got to sort it out just like you sort out life. And, we've done all of the experiments. We've done everything for you. We've made it easy for you to research flat Earth. The problem is Google has hidden it. You search my name, you search anything flat Earth, and you're going to get propaganda videos. On YouTube, if you let's say last year you were looking at how to skin an alligator, I don't know, whatever,
sure.
And you could just go to YouTube history and type in skin an alligator, and up will come the videos that you watched last year or yesterday or 6 months ago or whenever, right? Because it's in your YouTube history. You could watch a bunch of my flat Earth videos, other real flat Earth videos, And then a couple days later, or even later that day, whatever, search your history for flat Earth, and none of them will show up. Propaganda videos that you never watched will show up in your history.
Yeah, that's Google. I mean,
flat Earth is the only topic that they do that with.
That's got to tell you something. People don't use Google. It's one of it's not actually, it's not a real search engine. It's a popularity thing. It's controlled.
Well, the problem is people on Rumble, on Brighteon, on BitChute, on Rockfin, the high percentage, a high majority of those people are already a little bit woke. They're a little bit awake, not woke, awake. They're already on their truth journey. The normies, the zombie sheep are on YouTube and on TikTok.
Google.
Yeah. They're on the, like, you go out in the street, and I would say just go up to random people and say what video sites can you upload videos to, and everyone's going to go YouTube and TikTok. They don't know. They've never even heard of these other sites. Some of them, it's getting a little more popular now. I just remember I was in New York City on 9/11 when I was doing my podcast. This was like 10 years after, and I asked how many buildings fell on 9/11 in New York City. 1 out of 10 people said, I think there was something about some other building 7, right? 1 out of 10 in New York City. So the deception is so big. It's mind boggling. It's actually every day I'm fascinated on how blind people can be. And you know what? Flat earthers have different, some of us believe there's a dome. Some people believe the sky is flat. Some people believe an extended plane. Some people believe that it terminates in the outer Antarctica area. That's all okay. We're trying to figure it out. But one thing we all agree on is, how the hell did we ever believe in the heliocentric model before? It makes no sense whatsoever. Once you see the deception, if Globers knew a tenth of what we know about the heliocentric model, the globe model, they would be flat earthers, because it's the dumbest thing ever.
Okay, so I have some questions for you. Speaking of the things that you know. I'm going to rattle a few things off because I'm going into this with open mind.
We're going in with open mind. That's what we do.
I know you have probably dealt with people that are trying to roast you or throw you under a bus or be hostile towards you. You're not going to deal with that here.
There's no going under the bus when you're right. So go ahead, ask me anything.
Either way, we have a very open group of people. I see people in our chat already saying that they are fans of the flat Earth theory. They're believers.
Let me throw one thing out there for your fans and for you. At the end of this show, anybody that can put in one globe proof into the chat, you win 3 Bitcoins.
No, there you go.
That's $200,000 or whatever it is.
I'll take that.
So
let me start researching. Go ahead.
Here are a couple of questions for you. If the Earth is not round, where is the money in saying that it is in perpetuating nearly 100 years worth of round globe photos and teachings? Why keep that a secret? Where is the win or the power? That's my first question. Secondly is, how are we able to track things like weather and hurricanes at a certain rate and a certain speed so accurately if they're not coming across? Third is, if the sun rises and sets, wouldn't it rise and set at the same rate for everybody if the Earth were flat? Wouldn't everybody have the same rise, the same set? And if you had a high enough powered telescope, like we do for, obviously for some things, couldn't somebody from California see Italy or Madrid if it's, across? Okay. So these are just a couple of questions. And also, if the Earth were flat, wouldn't cats have already pushed everything off the side?
That's the funniest thing. That actually is the best globe proof that exists. That is the single best proof for the globe. So you're gonna have to remind me what the questions are. We're gonna start with the money.
Right.
Okay.
Let's do the money first.
Why?
Yeah, for us, we're a follow the money type of group.
Why the lie? Why the lie? Yes. The first thing is, if we're born into this creation with this place was built for us, and when we're born, we're registered to a corporation with our birth certificate, and we're told that we live on a ball, a limited ball, and inside that, when we're in that ball, that limits our thoughts because we're trapped. It's like Truman from the Truman Show. He goes, I want to be an explorer. And the teacher goes, oh, Truman, it's too late. Everything's been discovered already. And that's where they have us, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where they have us right now. So if one of the examples I use is, let's say you lived in a building. You were born in a building that's 1,000 miles long by 1,000 miles wide and 500 stories tall. That's a big building. In that building, there's Costco. There's ballparks. There's hiking trails. There's trains. There's airplanes. It's 1,000 miles, right? It's just gigantic, right? And so you're in there. Everything's in there. You met your spouse. You had your kids. They went to school. Everything. You know, your shopping centers. There's even, you know, fishing trips, everything's in there. But anytime you get within 4 or 5 miles of the outer wall, they go, no, stop. You can't go there because there's ice and penguins, and we need to protect the ice and the penguins. Just go back the other way.
Penguins are important. Mm-hmm.
So what are all wars fought over? What are all wars? They're all fought over resources, land, and control and power, right? What if there's more land out there? What if there's more land? Right? What if they're hiding more land? What if the Earth is, instead of 8 or 9 continents, whatever they say there is, there's 80 or 90,000 continents?
Yeah, and I have heard the theory that there are ice walls and they are protecting them. There have been people born outside of an ice wall.
Yeah, there's actually a book about that. There's a book about that. But the why the lie is literally the best question. I love that question because that's where I threw my hands up, you know, when I was like, okay, we can see too far. Okay, you know, boats over the horizon. No, that doesn't work. All right, seasons, that only works on a flat Earth. And I'm going to answer your other questions. And then I threw my hands up. I go, well, why the lie? Why the lie? It's about control. It's about limiting your thoughts. Your thoughts create your reality. Mm-hmm. And if they can limit your thoughts, they can limit your reality. If they can make you think you're spinning out of control, flying on an insignificant speck in an infinite space, an impossible space vacuum, you're deluded. And you don't have a firm foundation of where you are. You don't have your true power. So that's the why the lie. Let's get back to some of the proofs that you came up with. And
we have a question in the chat also that goes with that particular answer. It said, how could they be hiding this for so long?
Well, it hasn't been that long. I did an interview with a woman, and in 2020, her name was Ruth. Let me just pull that up. Let's see if that works. Ruth. And she said in the 1920s and 30s, she was taught flat Earth in school. She was born in 1918. And they were teaching flat Earth in school. I guess that wasn't specific enough in my search terms. But she when I told her the Earth was flat, she's like, I've known it my whole life, and she literally broke down in tears. It was amazing. Then we found people that said in the 40s and 50s and early 60s they were still teaching flat Earth and globe Earth here in America. So the whole story that we've known for 2,000 years by Eratosthenes with his sticks and shadows is nonsense, right? There's no books before the 1900s that mention Eratosthenes and his stupid stick experiment that doesn't prove anything, right? It actually, I think it proves the flat Earth, but it works on both. So getting back, I'm trying to remember all your questions. So you were talking about circumnavigation, right? On how we go in a straight line, how do we measure things, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So circumnavigation works like this. So we have a magnetic North Pole, right? So what is at our North Pole? Well, there's something magnetic. Something magnetic is at the North Pole, right? And so no matter where you hold your compass, there's my magnet. The needle's going to point to the north. Can you see? So the compass, that's west. Oh. So I'm going to try to go west. And as I go west, I have to keep turning to the right to maintain a heading of 270 degrees west. But look at the needle. It's got to always point to that north, always has to be towards the center. So west is a circle. I just went in a circle on a flat plane. I ended up right back to where I started from. Now I can go east. East is this way. But look, I got to keep turning to maintain a heading of 90 degrees east. And that brings me back right to where I started from, right? So now let's say I want to go west and I want to dead reckon, which means I'm not going to correct. Once I have my heading, I'm going to close my eyes and just fly straight. As soon as I leave, I'm heading south. Look, south is with your back to the north. here's south. The magnet isn't strong enough, but that's south. Every direction away from the center is south. Here's the funny thing. Billions of people have circumnavigated east and west. 0 have done it south. 0. 0 have done it south, right? If you go south, you never come back. You just go and go. You should pop up over here. If you go south from Santiago, you should end up in Australia. Look, I'm going north. Watch the compass. North, north. I'm heading in a straight line. And look, I'm still going in the same direction. Now I'm going south. Mm-hmm. Every direction, straight line is south. Even if you're heading north, because as soon as you pass north, it's going south. That doesn't prove that we're on a globe circumnavigation in the north, because it's the same. It's only in the south where you'd have to start turning the other direction to correct around the South Pole, but that doesn't happen. Some people claim that there's a airplane, a flight that broke the world record for north-south circumnavigation. So they went from here, United States, up and around the North Pole, down here through Russia, down here, Madagascar, and down here, South Pole, and back. That's what they call global circumnavigation. Let's take a look at that on a flat Earth, right? All they did is went here. There's the North Pole. They said that's the South Pole. They just went like this. They just went a circle. If you walk around your neighborhood, if your town hall is at the center of your neighborhood and you're 5 miles from it, and you just walk around, always staying 5 miles from the town hall, you're going to end up back at your house.
Right.
Okay. Is your neighborhood a globe? So that's circumnavigation.
That's a good point.
All right, that's a compelling argument.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Point.
Yeah. So the other thing is, why can't we see Italy? The answer is 2 answers. One, perspective. Things just get too small and you can't see. And the other one is the thickness of the atmosphere. If you're in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, you can't see the wall at the far end, even though the water is crystal clear. It's just because it gets too thick. Our atmosphere is a fluid, and we see too far. So I'm trying to pull up a thing right here. So this is, and where are you guys located? What city? So
I'm in New York. She's in Florida.
All right. I'm in Connecticut.
I'm in New York City.
All right.
Brooklyn.
Well, sorry for you.
Yeah.
All right.
No shit.
Right.
My daughter lives in Brooklyn. She loves it. She works in Manhattan, lives in Brooklyn. You couldn't pay me to do that.
Same
right?
here.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. No shit. I'm moving to Florida, God willing.
Yeah. So there you go. So 123 miles. We're looking from Malibu at this mountain, and this is with an infrared lens. You take the infrared lens off, you just see blue sky, some smog, right? Because you can't see. The infrared cuts through, and we can see this mountain. This mountain should be over 7,000 feet of curvature from this viewing spot, and this is just over 7,000 feet. So we should just see the tip of this mountain, but it's right there. We can see too far. Does that prove the Earth is flat? No. It proves that the Earth is 1,000 times bigger than they told us, or it's flat. I'm going to go with flat, right? And I'm going to
hold on. So what you're saying is that because it's such a great distance, the Earth should be curving. I'm just making this really simple. It should be curving down, and all we should see is just like the little tip, the top of the mountain.
My mouth is hidden behind this ball. There's a physical curvature. You can zoom in, and won't see my mouth because there's a physical obstruction. That's the curve of the Earth. Right, you can see my fingernails, and now you can't because they're behind the curve. Right. So if we lived on a ball, yes, boats would disappear from the bottom up. We'd all be dead because we can't live on a ball, but that's a whole nother thing. So here's a spot in Illusia, France, okay? And the sun, I'm going to show you in a moment, migrates in between the 2 tropics, 6 months out to the Tropic of Capricorn for our winter, 6 months into the Tropic of Cancer, and twice a year it lines up with this viewing spot. And out here is Mount Canigou. You can't see it. It's 175 miles away. From that elevation, at that distance, the top of Mount Canigou should be over a half a mile hidden by the physical Earth curvature. Mm-hmm. Okay? Can't see it. Glober says there, proof of the globe, right? Well, the truth is, the light that's bouncing off of Mount Canigou isn't strong enough to push 175 miles through the atmospheric soup. But the sun is much brighter. And as the sun moves away, setting due to perspective, and I want to show you that in a moment, it backlights the mountain. Here's the entire mountain. The top of this mountain should be over a half a mile below the curve, closer to a mile. But it's right here. And the Glober answer to that is Well, the sun is already set, and the mountain is below the curve, and the sun's just refracting up, stopping at eye level, and the mountain's refracting up, blocking the sun. The refracted mountain's blocking the refracted sun. The reason you can't figure this out isn't because you're stupid, it's because it's stupid. All right? The heliocentric model is so stupid that people just short circuit and go, well, I can't figure that out. I got to trust the comedian, the failed comedian with the pocket protector and the lab coat, right? That's what people throw their faith in, right? Globers, you're going to see globers in your comments. They're going to come here and go, Dave's a grifter. He's just trying to sell his app, blah, blah, this and that. They will never offer a globe proof. They will just attack. I'm only offering flat earth proofs and globe destroyers. That's all I'm doing, right? But they will never offer a globe proof because they don't have any. Otherwise, they'd have my Bitcoins.
I don't think we're going to have that in our comments because our people are usually... Go ahead.
Yeah.
I have a question I'm dying to ask Dave from the very beginning, because I know you asked a bunch of questions, but and I don't know if you've discussed this before. I haven't found enough research. Does the flat earth prove or disprove an afterlife? God? Are they trying, and by saying that the earth is round, are they trying to disprove an afterlife, God, or whatever it may be?
Wait, how? What?
So I'm just basically saying that, like, does there being a flat earth prove that they're trying to hide God? Basically, like them telling you there's no flat earth, earth is round. Like, what does religion have to do with flat earth? Is there any correlation? Is there any systematic belief, like difference or indifference or whatever, having to do with the flat earth?
Yeah, that's
physical, Christian, or otherwise.
Right. Well, anything.
Okay.
Well, they try to link it, saying, "Oh, flat earthers are a bunch of religious people," a bunch of
right.
Yeah. That they try to do that, but the truth is, before I learned about flat Earth, I anytime I would be listening to a podcast, like, these guys are great, taking notes, conspiracies, this and that, and then they would mention anything religious, and I'd be like, "Oh, they're a bunch of religious kooks," and I'm out, because I was pretty much, it's embarrassing to say, an atheist. I just didn't believe in anything. It's just nothing really bought me. I believed in evolution, and I basically was lazy. Okay. I didn't figure it out.
A lot of atheists are lazy. It's just easier for them to say, I can't translate these parables. I don't understand it. So I'm just going to say that doesn't exist.
Yeah, but then I found out that the Earth is intelligently designed, and I had no choice but to face the fact that there's a creator. I had no choice. And that's kind of where I draw the line on for everybody. Once you know there's a creator, it's your journey, whatever your relationship with the creator is, okay? You want to take it into religion? Feel free. You want to just have a personal relationship? Whatever. I don't care. I don't want to know about it. But it's undeniable. So here's another reason. Back to your first question. Why did I lie? Because you can't control people that have faith in a creator. It's too hard. And in the world the way they have it, you have a choice of saying there's a creator or no, it's just a big bang, and you have the choice. But once you see the flat earth, there is no longer a choice in denying the creator. There's no longer a choice. So they don't want you in a situation, because this world is intelligently designed. It didn't come from a Jesuit invented priest big bang. Which is just another analogy for the birth cycle. They can't. If you know that the Earth is intelligently designed, there's a designer.
Right.
It's not from a big bang. Okay. And that's your journey from there forward. So that's where it kind of took me. Like, I was like, holy crap. And I did it all backwards. I found the creator through flat Earth, and then I realized the moon landings were fake. I mean, normally
that was another question. That was my next question.
Oh, please, the moon landing. Listen, if anyone who believes in the moon landings is just probably, I mean, their
shattering my childhood right now. I believe in the moon landings and.
No,
April.
April, come on,
What is that? What is that thing? Is it a bowling ball?
It's my round Earth that I like to go like this, and I'm like, oh, where am I going to go visit? Oh, no, I don't like that one. I'm going somewhere else.
I know. What was that, Iraq?
So real quick, this picture I'm showing right here from this spot up here, we have 8 mountains that we can see, all of them, And the top, forget the globe say, well, you can't see all of the mountain. The bottom half is missing. Yeah, because of topographical and atmospheric stuff. But the tops of the mountains, all there, all the right shapes, in the right positions, they should be over already 40 miles below a physical curve. But they're right here. And the only thing the mainstream science won't even address this picture, and the trolls out there goes, those aren't mountains or clouds. But if you actually watch the video, these are clearly the mountains. We show that everyone is in the exact right position and the exact right shape. They're not clouds. They're the mountains. And so right there, the Earth has to be 10,000 times bigger than they tell us, right? 10,000 times. That's 10,000 times the number of continents, right?
Okay.
So
we have a couple questions here.
Go for it. Yes.
So Eva's asking, what if the Earth is oval? And the artist returns, hello, is saying, explain the prevalence of celestial orbs and why Earth is the exception.
Well, so planets.
Pure Linda is saying, who did that math as far as the...
Well, this is globe math. And there's actually four formulas that you can different ways to calculate their Earth curve. And we take the easy one, which is 8 inches per mile squared. It's based off the Pythagorean theorem. And the reason we take that is for two reasons. One, it's easy. And two, it gives the least amount of curvature. It gives the globe the benefit of the doubt. Here's the problem. The globers will go, it's a parabola. It's a parabola. Yep, it's a parabola after like 2,500 miles. It starts turning into a parabola. Nobody can see that far, right? At 2,000 miles, it's off by a couple of feet. Okay, that's nothing. Because at 10 miles is a 66-foot curve on a globe the size that they tell us it is. So anyone that screams that's a parabola, that means you don't believe in the Pythagorean theorem, and you're just not thinking. You're not thinking at all. So the other thing you're talking about, how does the sun rise and set? Was that one of them?
It wasn't, but I'd like to know.
It was explain the prevalence of celestial orbs
and
why the Earth is the exception.
Yeah. So my question is, when you look up at the sky, have you ever seen a planet? A physical planet of terra firma? And the answer is, well, no, you've seen pictures from NASA and Disney, right? I think Disney has better ones than NASA.
Yeah, much better.
And they're not, there's no, they're just lights in the sky. Here's another thing. Look up in the sky when, especially when like Jupiter's out, which is quite often. I think it's out now. And it's bright. It's the brightest object in the sky other than the moon. How does a dusty, dirty ball reflect sunlight all the way back to your eyes and it looks as bright as the sun, just smaller? It's the brightest thing in the sky. It's fire. Okay? How does a dusty, dirty ball reflect sunlight? Now, we're 93 million miles away from the sun. If we doubled the distance to the sun, how much smaller would it get? Right now, it's about the size of a nickel held at arm's length, right?
Sure.
Okay? So if we doubled the distance, the inverse square law says it would be a quarter of the size. So now it's the size of a pencil eraser, maybe a little bigger.
Okay.
Double it again, so it's 4 times farther. It's a quarter of that size. So now it's literally a large star, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to believe, right? Jupiter is 400 million miles away from the sun, right? It's 4 times. The sun is 4 times farther away from Jupiter approximately than we are. So you're on Jupiter. You got a gassy surface, which I wouldn't say is very reflective. It kind of absorbs light. It doesn't reflect light like a mirror. And you got that tiny little sun. That tiny little sun's got to reflect off that gas and go 400 million miles to Earth. And light, and you see it that bright. You're not thinking. Right? But you weren't taught to think that way. You were taught to memorize what's in the textbooks and get an A, right? That is scientifically impossible. Impossible. So, another thing about planets. So I'm just trying to, so this is, yeah. What is this? Is this me rinsing my watercolor brush, or is that a 2023 picture of Jupiter?
I'm going to assume it's Jupiter.
Yeah, that's what they tell us is Jupiter. Okay, is this Saturn, Mars, or Jupiter?
Again, this is not my area of expertise.
That's Jupiter. Let me just
Jupiter. Are you sure it's Jupiter? Because it's really a meadow with ducks and grass. Okay, you'll see whatever anyone tells you should see. Okay, NASA just literally makes a model, and they use this stupid model. It's the same thing. Right? This is what they show you. And in 2014, they took this incredible picture of Jupiter. Everyone saw it. They loved it. 2014, this picture. In 2016, they go, "Oh, we got the Northern Lights." NASA. That means that Jupiter has a magnetic core. That's so cool, right? Look at this. This is, do you believe this? Right? And now look at the gas. All of the clouds. They're exactly the same. Nothing has changed in over 2 years.
Right, because gas moves.
So one of the comments, we have somebody in here who works a lot in the science realm.
Okay.
Pure Linda, and she has a couple of things in here that I'll rattle through real quick. And she states the Earth is and I hope I'm going to say this. The Earth is oblate. It's fatter at the equator by 12.5 miles.
Yeah, that's what Neil deGrasse Tyson says. Go ahead.
And she said, yes, I have seen a planet through a 20-inch telescope. I've seen Saturn's rings with my naked eyes.
Yeah.
The planets are very far away and they're very dim. We can't see them in daylight. Yeah. We can see them at night because they are so dim.
Yeah.
And lots of things look similar. The duck picture is some good bullshit trickery.
Yeah, I'm just showing you how easy it is to believe what you're told, what you're seeing. That's just significantly. Listen, that's a little fun. So here is the famous picture of Saturn that they still use in every textbook. But when we look at it in a when we zoom in on it, when we crank up the levels here, we can see that it's cut and pasted together poorly. Okay, so this picture is 100% provably cut and pasted together in Photoshop.
This is what NASA shows.
This is NASA's photo, and we cranked it up. Now I've looked at Saturn. I can see the rings. I can see it's lit up. It's a light in the sky. What is it? I don't know. All the planets are named after gods. They used to be called wandering stars, right? But here's a question for you, and the science person, what's the person's name? Do we have a name? Linda, I want you to think about this. I'm going to walk you through something, and most people don't have the ability to actually think this through, but I think that you will. Okay, so in our galaxy, that's not what I'm showing you. In our solar system, where the heck is my? There we go. In our solar system, where this is us, right? The sun is moving 500,000 miles per hour, but everything's relative. All the planets are chasing the sun at the exact same speed. They're all orbiting at their speed. We're orbiting at 66,600 miles an hour, speeding up and slowing down, averaging that speed. And we're chasing the sun. We're traveling 4.4 billion miles a year. We're traveling 186 million miles a year from one side of the sun to the other, back and forth, never to return to where we were before as we spiral through the galaxy. Now, the reason we see all the stars rotate around that one central star is Polaris, is just because if you drew an imaginary line through the spinning axis of the Earth, it points towards Polaris. Here's my question for you. You guys answer it. If she answers in the chat, you can tell me what she said. If our Earth tilted another way, would it affect the orbits of the other planets?
Well, she says...
She's saying that they're not traveling at the same exact speed.
Well, how do all of the planets keep up with the sun? The sun's traveling about 500,000 miles per hour, and they always are on the same ecliptic plane, give or take a little bit, right? But they're all keeping up with the sun, right? By the way, she's right. It is ridiculous because it's not happening. But in the heliocentric model, it is happening.
But she said if they were going the same speed, Mercury wouldn't go into retrograde, and all the planets go into retrograde.
No. That's what you're talking about, the orbital speed. I'm talking about the speed that it's chasing the sun. So all of the stars are orbiting around. Let's take a bullet, right? You have all of these planets that are orbiting around a bullet, and I shoot the bullet. They're all keeping up with the bullet, so they can go around. That's what's going on. The sun is a bullet going a bullet can't go 500,000 miles an hour, but the sun can. Right. And we're all keeping up with it. Now, all the orbits have their own speeds. We're going 66,000 miles an hour. Mercury is different. And yeah, you can figure out retrogrades out of there. But follow me on this. Follow me because I'm going to show you something that's impossible. Now, if we change the tilt of the Earth, which it supposedly changes 1 degree every 76 years, 2,000 years ago, we had a different star. But if we changed it and our axis of rotation was pointing towards another star, that would be our North Star, and all of the other planets all the other stars would appear to circle that because we're spinning, right? I hope, do you guys understand that's the heliocentric model?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And
my question is, if we tilted the Earth, does it affect the orbits of the other planets? No.
Well, Hooper submitted this very important comment or question, and he said, how does this affect Zod stuck in the Phantom Zone?
I have no idea what that means.
Superman.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Superman. I'm kidding, so I thought it was funny. But anyway, Linda is saying no to your question. She said the planets don't chase the sun, they orbit the sun.
They orbit, but the sun is traveling at 500,000 miles per hour. How do they keep up? How do they keep up? She doesn't even know her own model. That's the thing. This is the thing. The reason she's a staunch believer is because she doesn't even know her own model. Go look up your own model. They do chase the sun at it's 460,000 miles an hour. I say 500,000, so I don't have to say 460 every time. All right. So follow me here. Mm-hmm. If the Earth is wobbling, I guess its axis of rotation has no effect on any of the other planets. So 2,000 years ago, supposedly, the axis of rotation was pointing towards a star called Thuban, and that was our North Star. And we just happen to live in the time now where it's pointing towards Polaris. That is her belief. I'm not wait for her answer because that is her belief, whether she knows it or not.
Right, but she's saying there's no resistance in space.
I'm not talking about that. She's looking for something to tear apart. She doesn't even know where I'm going with this. I'm looking for an answer that it doesn't matter what our axis points at. It has no effect on the other planets, right? Here's a question. Maybe she can answer it. The other planets are spinning. Does their polar axis of rotation point towards Polaris, or does it point towards some other spot? That would be. I know there's a delay. I don't want to make this wait and everything, but the answer, I can tell you what her answer is. The answer is no. They all have their own axis of rotation. They may point in the same direction, or they may point in another direction, but it doesn't matter because they don't. The axis of rotation, they're a planetary body that has a gravitational field, and it doesn't matter which way it's spinning because the gravity is the same. And somehow our magical solar system is more accurate than any clock because all clocks are actually set to the sky clock. And all of the alignments of planets and gravities don't affect each other. Nothing ever tugs on anything else because everything works perfectly, right? It's stupid. You're not stupid. It's stupid. Okay.
So she did answer. She said
yes.
That she's having a hard time keeping up because you keep changing topics pretty quickly. But she said right now our pole points to Polaris.
Okay. So do all of the other planets point towards Polaris? Their polar axis, does that point towards Polaris? Her answer is no if she knows her model. They point towards wherever they point. My point is Polaris important to the other planets or just important to us because it's our point of access? Maybe that's what you can answer. I'll stick on that.
Okay.
Is Polaris, our Polaris, important to the other motions of the other planets?
All right.
Is she going to answer?
Yeah, well, she is. There's a little delay. We'll give her a break. She's probably very triggered right now.
Yeah,
No, she's not triggered. She's very.
I would be triggered. I would be triggered. I get triggered.
She's not. She's not that way. She's very.
Okay, good.
Literally, I hate. I love this. This expression. She's very down to earth. So, the artist return said, instead of attacking her theory, could you please just give us the Earth rotates or doesn't rotate in regards to the side and its relative position? And then Linda said it's not important. It's just our orientation at the moment.
Correct.
So
here's the thing. Answer me this.
Oh, she also said the background stars just offer a point of reference.
Great. So why then when we look at the motions of all of the planets, these are the orbital paths and how they kind of work. Remember Spirograph? You guys ever use Spirograph, or is that
Hell
before?
yeah, we did.
Okay,
We're 90s kids. 80s
So these
kids.
these are the spirographs, right? But when you look at all of them, what's this dot? What's this dot at the center? What's this dot? What are they orbiting around? They're all orbiting around Polaris.
Wait, so you're telling me Spirograph was actually the North Pole, teaching us the North Pole back in the day?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is how retrograde motion happens. Don't ask me what the planets are, but here's the thing. They're all orbiting around Polaris. If we were pointed towards Thuban 2,000 years ago, did they orbit around Polaris then? Or Thuban then? Or the sun? Aren't they? I thought they were orbiting around the sun. They all orbit around Polaris. That is a globe heliocentric killer. There's no explanation for it other than denial and made up mumbo jumbo. They all orbit around Polaris. Game over. Welcome to Flat Earth. Come have a class with me.
So your main theory is the reason, which is viable. The reason for them teaching this is because wars and power are created over land grabs and always have been, basically. And we've seen it. We've seen it with the Maui fires. We see it with everything over, everything's always invasion, conquer, take land. So your theory is the reason we were taught the globe theory is because there's much more land out there to be taken, and they don't want people to know about that. So they teach us that it's already been discovered. There's nowhere else to go. Sit down, shut up, be happy, enjoy your life.
Well, here's the thing. If you believe you live on a globe, you're limited.
Okay.
If you understand that you live on a flat Earth, there's much more options out there, right?
I'm reiterating for people who came in late.
Yeah.
Which is,
I'm
not saying that's not a viable theory. It's a viable theory. I mean,
right.
We all know that if you follow the money, people who are educated know that, land is everything. We're not going to make any more of it. And people
imagine if there was more land and more resources and other civilizations and everything. It's kind of, once you understand the implications of this, it's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing, right? I think you talked about boats disappearing. Look out here. Do you see any boats? You don't. But as we zoom in, all of a sudden we can start seeing boats. Now, are they over the curve? You can't zoom in over the curve. We're just bringing them back into view. And look, this boat seems to be going up and down. Look at this boat. Is it going behind the Earth curve? Or is it just going behind an ocean swell that creates a false horizon, right? We can see too far. Boats disappear behind the unevenness of the waves. Or if it's perfectly calm, which is not quite often, there's what's called the marine layer, where the water is evaporating into the air and it just becomes opaque and it creates a fuzzy horizon. Right? Look at this boat. Is it going over the curve, or is it just going behind this, what I call a false horizon? This is a false horizon.
I'm watching. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sunsets. Let's do sunsets for a little bit, because that's a big one. And once you understand that, it's going to bring you a little closer. And then and we should touch on seasons. Go ahead.
And Linda say, I'll read what. And hi, Colin. What's up? Linda's saying the point of reference changes over time. The universe moves very, very slowly compared to the size of the universe, and you have to understand the distances involved. And yes, shore waves happen, but that doesn't speak to either argument.
Well, she's not addressing the fact that all the planets are circling around Polaris. Explain that. You can't explain it. There is no explaining it.
And we do have about 21 minutes left, so I wanted to get into the seasons and.
Okay, so real quick, here's some street lights. They're going down a straight street. We know all these poles are the same height, but they're going down. Here's the sun going down. It's just going away. It's just going away, right? Yeah. So here is I had to see this. Can you see this string right here? This is a level line. It's this string right here. This is a celestial point of view. I'm up at the height of the string. This is a terrestrial point of view. I'm on the counter, right? There's a piece of cardboard here, and this light is just going beyond it. But from the ground position, this level line looks like it's going below it, and this would be your horizon. This is high above the camera, but it kind of looks like it's at eye height. If it was a little longer and it just goes beyond it, this is a real sunset. The sun is going away and it goes beyond this, what I call atmospheric deck of opacity, right? Let me just show you how that works. And then we'll go to seasons and you'll be flat earthers. All right.
I'm not sure. Well, I think what we'll agree that the things that we know, the things that we know for sure, absolutely beyond shadow of a doubt, is that we don't know sometimes.
Sure.
But,
so when you're looking at something, you need life experience. You need to be told what you're looking at and experience it. A baby looking at this wouldn't really know what to make of it, but we know what to make of it. What happened? I'm gone. Hold on. There I am. All right.
So
here I am. I'm back.
Somebody was suggested parallax. I don't know if I'm saying that.
I'll talk about. I'll talk. Let me get. We keep changing. You keep throwing in comments, and I can't make my points. Parallax. Think about this. All of the stars in our galaxy are moving in their own directions. 80% of them are binary, which means they orbit around 2 stars, or even trinary, where there's 3 stars. They're all moving. We're moving 4.5 billion miles a year, but in all of recorded history, never once has 2 stars changed positions due to parallax. Never once have any 2 stars crossed. Now you go, well, the universe is so big, you won't notice it. Cool story, bro. Right? But in all of history, none of the stars have ever changed. So this is guys standing on a pier. We can assume the water is below the pier, right? I put this together. The boat's on top of the water. The clouds are above the boat. The sun is above the clouds. These are things that we just know when we're looking at an image, right? Can you see the building?
No.
You can't see the building, a New York City building, 60 stories tall?
No.
Can you?
Oh, wait, I see it. And
where is it?
Are you talking about in the pier?
It is the pier.
Okay, now I'm completely lost.
So now, look, I just drew all of that on top of this. I'm in New York City looking straight up at this building. There's the sun. It's noon. Okay? I'm just saying we perceive things due to the way we perceive them. Now watch.
I see what you mean.
So the sun is going to move across the sky. It's moving across the sky. Now let me ask you a question. Is the sun below the horizon, or is it just beyond the building?
Beyond the building.
Right, beyond the building. Now, how could you prove that? You could go back. You can float up in the air and look at it. Or if you went back a couple miles, or even not that far, you'd have a better angle. You'd be able to look over the building because the building would get smaller and smaller in the distance. So here's how perspective works. Everything ramps together. We've seen this in our class. And so we have a guy here. Here's his eye level. This line is his eye level. So I throw this mountain in here, and we could say the top of this mountain is thousands of feet above his eye level. Cool? Everyone agree?
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Okay. So now we get the sun. We move the sun. Is the sun below the horizon or beyond the mountain, just like it was beyond the building? Beyond the mountain. Say it.
Of course. Yeah, beyond the mountain.
Okay, very good. So we move backwards. We'll move him backwards. And now he's 15 miles away, 10 miles away, whatever it is. Now the top of the mountain looks like it's at his eye level due to perspective.
Realistically, yeah, it's both, and that could be the same argument for a globe as
hold
well.
Hold on. We're just doing one thing at a time.
I'm showing you. Are still the same arguments for a global.
Yeah, but here's the thing: things fall into 2 baskets. Works on both. Okay. Works on a flat Earth. Works on a globe Earth. The third basket never gets anything in it ever. I
was just going to say some of these arguments that you're.
But none of them ever. And nothing works only on a globe. All right. So the sun goes away. Now, what can we say? It's this line right here is thousands of feet above his eye level. If the Earth was a globe at 20 miles, there's only 400 feet of curvature. Okay. So it's still way above his eye line, but the sun just went beyond it. Now, if we add the clouds, the sun's above the clouds, and we move the sun away, what can we say now? Well, all of the clouds have merged into this line. So this horizon line, this horizontal eye zone, is the top of the mountains, which is thousands of feet above his eyes. And it's also the clouds, which are thousands of feet above the mountains. The sun simply went beyond it into the horizon. And you can't zoom it back in because it's beyond something physical. Now, if you wanted to zoom into something that's on the ground, yeah, you can zoom in and make it bigger. You can zoom in and see it again. Like if we go here, where are we going? Where's my sailboat? Here it is. So we look out at the horizon here. We don't see anything, right? But as we zoom in, right? So there's nothing there. And as we zoom in, we're actually making it bigger. And as we make it bigger, all of a sudden we go, oh, look, there's a boat, right? Did I zoom over the curve of the earth, or did I just zoom something into our visual range? Now, my finger can't hide that whole boat. But if my finger was a wave in the foreground, as that boat goes away, it could hide the whole boat, right? This lumpy water will hide the bottom of city skylines. It'll hide windmills. It'll hide cruise ships. Just those couple foot waves. That's how perspective works.
I mean, I can appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. And I'm not going to ever say that a theory isn't accurate, because, I mean, we've seen so many things that aren't what they seem like they are. But I like a lot of what you said. I'm still having a hard time seeing this as proof. I would never rule something out, but it's still.
I'm going to show you a preponderance of evidence. I've shown you the distance things, the distance things.
And for those ask that who are just listening and not watching, parallax means the effect whereby the position or direction of an object appears to differ when viewed from different positions. For example, through the viewfinder or the lens of a camera. Used in a sentence, it's, what you see in the viewfinder won't be quite what you get in the photograph because of the parallax error. Kind of like how when you take a picture of the moon, it never looks awesome like it does in real life.
Well, that's another hour topic there. Yeah. When next time you see a giant full moon on the horizon, turn around backwards, bend over, and look at the moon upside down through your legs, and it'll be tiny. Okay?
Oh, I'm going to do that tonight.
Yeah.
Well, we only have a half a moon right now.
So right now, I have two people. They're laying on the ground 20 feet apart because they don't want to get the COVIDs. And we have a guy with a heat lamp directly above
They only need 6 feet. They only need 6 feet.
Okay. So this guy's got a heat lamp right above this person. Let's pretend it's cold outside. So this person is getting the heat from the heat lamp, right? This person is in the middle of their summer. Mm-hmm. And you say, where's the sun? And they're going to go, well, it's right straight up there. You go to this guy, say, hey, do you feel the heat? He's like, not really. It's too far away. You say, where's that sun? And he's not saying it's up there. He's saying it's over. I can't do it. It's over there.
Mm-hmm. I get you.
I can't do it. He's saying it's like at a 45-degree angle. Now, this guy's going to walk over with there's he sees the sun at that angle. He sees the sun at that angle. And as he walks over, keeping it at the exact same height, the sun gets lower in the sky for her and higher in the sky for him. Huh. And so now the heat source is closer to him, higher in the sky, like our summer sun, closer to us, higher in the sky. Right?
Oh shit. Okay.
and now she's cold with a low distant sun, shorter days, and he's warm. Right? So in the globe model, we have a far distant. So in the morning, we have a 93 million mile away sun, and it's cool. And then in the afternoon, we have a 93 million mile away sun, and it's warm. And in the evening, we have a 93 million mile away sun, and it's cool.
Not in Florida.
Well, hold on. This is temperate area, okay? Right? On a flat Earth, in the morning, we have a farther away sun, and it's cooler. At noon, we have a closer sun, and it's warmer. And in the afternoon, we have a farther sun, and it's cooler. It's hot in the middle of the day because the sun is the closest, right? This is what it looks like on a Mercator map, right? The Tropic of Cancer in June, the north is having its summer because the sun is close. In December, the south is having its summer because the sun is close. And on a flat Earth, it looks like this. We're here in the inner north, in the Arctic, okay, where the sun circles around us. It arcs around us like a clock. Right? And we have our summer. and Australia has its winter because the sun is far away. And then in December, the sun is far away from us, and it's warmer. It's cold. It's warmer in the south, colder in the north. Now, Florida, you're in Florida, so Florida is right. Where are we? Florida's right there.
Mhm.
You're not that too far. You're kind of close. In the winter, it's still pretty warm. But I'm in Connecticut up here, and that little difference, which is a big difference, makes it colder. Makes it a lot colder, and people up here are freezing their butts off. Right?
All right. So
Because the sun is far away.
couple of questions. We have managed to. Humans are amazing and very resourceful.
We got 10 minutes, by the way. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go. And I wanted to let people know where I'm going to be this weekend for an appearance too. So if you're sticking around, if you're in Tampa Bay, come see me this weekend.
Once Dave signs off, we can still stay on.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering. Okay.
So, like the sun setting. But here's my main thing. Mine is from a bigger picture thing. Humans are so very, very resourceful, and we're able to do so many things. If this were the case, and there is more land, and there is an alleged ice wall out there, why have we not seen videos and pictures and testimony and things like that from it? Now, as I realize that mainstream media censors a lot, but we've seen the push through and the push back. Big Pharma rules everything, all these technocracies and pharma companies, but we've still seen the pushback where the information that has been necessary has gotten through regarding things like COVID and the vaccine. And a lot of that is being exposed like crazy right now and has been for the past couple of years. So if this were the situation, I'm not saying it's not, if this were the situation, there would be some kind of something that would have gotten through, because somebody.
Well, what are you talking about? You said
whistleblowers and
okay.
pictures.
There's a million whistleblowers. There's a million of them, and they're all on my app. If you go to our all pilots and scientists in on it, we have a video that's up, 3-hour video, 27 pilots talking about it, scientists talking about it, how the Earth is flat. Pilots that have lost their, they've been grounded because they talked about the Earth is flat. Where's the ice wall? It's right here. Take a look. There's a billion pictures of the ice wall. People say, well, where's the ice wall? It's right here. It's the shoreline of our world. Antarctica, if you take the average height of every continent, Antarctica is more than double the top two in its height. It is the containment of our pond. Water needs containment. Without the sides, there is no water. Water at rest lays level, right? This is Antarctica. There's tons of photos. You can go to Antarctica. You can't get anywhere near the ice wall, but you can work in Antarctica. We had a plumber that was there for over a year. And yes, it's a lot of what they say about Antarctica is true, but they only get to see the shoreline of Antarctica. And so if we look at is this getting out? Oh, what happened there? Damn it. Can't show you that. It's not working. Hold on. App. There we go. So this is my app, the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. And if we go here and we just look at the world, this is less than 1% of the Flat Earth people out there. All right. These are just the people that have my app that are on the Friend Finder. Look, you can't even see the United States anymore. Right.
Lori says this reminds her of Game of Thrones. Yeah, it's like the entire plot of Game of Thrones, right?
The idea of Game of Thrones is two things. One is to make you laugh at the ice wall.
Okay.
And the other one is to make you not believe dragons are real. Okay. Well,
are dragons real?
Well, look at the Chinese zodiac that has 12 animals on it, all real except one. Mm-hmm. Why would they do that? There's so much evidence of dragons, like dragons beyond what you could even fathom. But that's a whole nother show. There's other people that can do a better job of that. But what I'm saying is, your claim that why hasn't a whistleblower come out? The whistleblowers are all over the place. They're everywhere. On my app, if you go to the frequently asked questions page and you go, are all pilots and scientists in on it? Up comes a playlist. Up comes a playlist of all of these videos that are being hidden from you. Whoops, okay. I'm actually showing it the wrong way. Hold on, a portrait. There we go. These videos are all being hidden from you. And I just tell people, watch them. Go to my website, flatearthdave.com, and then scroll down. You can get the app or just scroll down to where you see a big picture of me and it says Crash Course. I challenge people, watch the first 3 videos. And at the end of those first 3 videos, if you're not a globe denier and you can come up with one proof that you live on a globe, you win the 3 Bitcoins. Or you can get the app. It's $3 and it'll educate you. It'll show you everything that you want. It's all there. It has images you can search. It has videos you can search. It has frequently asked questions. It has the friend finder. It has everything.
All right. That sounds excellent. So if you once again, you can go to flatearthdave.com. He's difficult to find on Google because we know Google loves to hide interesting things, but go to flatearthdave.com. Check him out. You can go delve, I can speak today, further into the app. And there is a lot on there. If you're listening instead of watching, there is plenty if you want to dig a little deeper. As for me, I don't know if I'm completely converted at the moment, but I appreciate the conversation and I will never rule anything out.
Let me ask a question.
Especially over the past 4 years, we've learned that.
And I say, don't believe anything I say. Go verify everything yourself. But you're not converted. That's good. That's good. You shouldn't just convert from this conversation. But my question to you is, why do you believe you live on a globe?
That is a question I ask myself a lot.
Okay.
So why do I believe anything? So that's one of the things when I get off this podcast, I'll spend the evening wondering about.
Why do I believe I live on a flat earth? I can see too far. There is no measurement of axial rotation. There is no curvature. You can't have high pressure next to no pressure. All of the planets, the wandering stars, which would be impossible to see, are circling around Polaris, which makes absolutely no sense. The closest star is 25 trillion miles away. 25 trillion miles, right? Do you know how long 1 trillion seconds is?
I have no idea.
So check this out. Here's just a thought experiment. If we wanted to go to the closest star and we could travel at a mile per second, which is faster than anyone went, we went at 1 mile per second for 1 trillion seconds. We've gone 1 trillion miles, right? 1 mile per second for 1 trillion seconds is 1 trillion miles.
Unless you're in Florida, then you haven't gone very far at all because of, traffic, snowbirds, spring break.
All right. So jokes aside, I need you to think
Okay.
of it. Right? You're traveling a mile per second for 1 trillion seconds. You've gone 1/25th of the way to the closest star. You got to do that 24 more times. How long is 1 trillion seconds? Take a guess. If you guess it within 2 days, I'll give you a Bitcoin.
35 days.
35. Close. You want to guess?
No.
31,000 years.
Oh, that's close.
Now let that sink in for a second.
You're so close.
Just hold on. Let that sink in for a second. 31,000 years is 1 trillion seconds. 31,000 years. And you believe that, let's say we get there, we go 31,000 years, 25 times. We get there. You know what? Screw that. Elon Musk gave me a rocket. It goes 100,000 miles an hour. Amazing. It's only going to take us 28,000 years to get there. Now we get there and we find out, there's no life on these planets. Now we're going to go to the next star, which is magnitudes farther. That's the dilution of the creator. That's how you dilute something. You pour it into something like infinite space, something bigger, right? So they want your minds lost in space rather than here at the center of creation. Right? You're here at the center of creation. And you are the inheritor of this place. And we have the ability to manifest our lives, but they want to take that away. They want to keep us in fear, afraid of nuclear bombs, afraid of war, of famine, all of this stuff, spraying us like bugs, everything, right? They want to keep us in that place of fear because then they get to create the world that they want to control us. I think that there's more land beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. I think that there's hundreds of other ponds. We live in a pond. I think there's hundreds of other ponds within tens of thousands of miles, hundreds of thousands of miles, not ridiculous, stupid light years.
Okay. Well, the fear part, that part resonates with me. I can totally understand. I have a lot to think about tonight. I think a lot of us do.
Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry.
The last thing is, I recommend people, if you're interested in this topic, get my app. It bypasses YouTube censorship. We all have our phones with us all the time. So when you're stuck in traffic, in a line, in the bathroom, we're having your breakfast, whatever, start looking at those frequently asked question videos and educate yourself. Don't believe, know. Belief is the lazy man's knowing, right? there's all sorts of incredible stuff on here. There's the homeschool section, which will blow your mind. Have you guys looked into the old world yet?
No.
Oh
No.
my God! Right here, this is
Sometime in the near future.
impossible. My lunch break. It's one of the greatest channels right now. Amazing, all old world stuff up here. Amazing stuff. And if you want to get deep into some deep lessons, schooling globers, there's all sorts of stuff. But none of this, all of this is being hidden from you. And the thing is, it changes your life once you understand that you're not a random speck flying through an infinite space vacuum, and that you actually have power and purpose. Everything changes. Whoops, I just lost my connection. There we go. So there you go, flatearthdave.com.
Okay, flatearthdave.com. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate all your time and explanation and
All right, man.
being enlightened on something different. So
Okay.
thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks.
you, brother.
Very
Thank
nice
you so
meeting
much,
you.
man.
All right, man. See you guys. Bye.
You're awesome,
Thank you.
guys.
Bye.